Mount Kailash stood still, but within its sacred grounds, a storm had erupted. A boy, barely born, now stood between the Lord of Destruction and his own home. And Shiv, more surprised than furious, paused. His eyes narrowed, his pride wounded. "Who is this arrogant child?" he thundered. Turning to his Ganas, he ordered, "Teach him a lesson. Show him what defiance costs." The Ganas surrounded the boy, their voices harsh. "Step aside. Who are you to block Shiva's path?" But Ganesh stood tall, his voice calm, his resolve unshaken. "And who are you, little footman of a big god? I serve my mother, and I will not move." Insults flew, tempers flared. The Ganas warned, "We are sparing you now, out of courtesy. But try our patience again, and you will be crushed." Still, Ganesh laughed. "Leave now," he said, "or live forever in shame." Embarrassed, confused, the Ganas turned back to Shiv. Their voices trembled. "He's not ordinary. We hesitate because he feels like one of us." Shiva's face darkened. "You call yourselves warriors, and yet you retreat before a child?" Fury burned in his voice. "Go back. Drag him away by force if you must." The Ganas returned, shouting threats, swinging clubs, mocking him, taunting him. "You jackal in a lion's skin. Let's see how loud you laugh when we are done." But Ganesh didn't flinch. He raised his staff and in a flash struck with such power that several Ganas crashed to the ground. "You were warned," he growled. "Now feel the wrath of Parvati's son." Bones cracked, weapons shattered. Some fled limping, some begged for mercy. The battlefield had turned. In the eye of the storm stood one boy, born of a mother's love, fighting for her honor. Inside her chamber, Parvati heard the uproar, the rising tension, the clash of metal and pride. She sent Jaya and Vijaya to learn the truth. They returned with pride glowing in their eyes. "Mother," Jaya said, "your son has not faltered. He fights alone, facing Shiva's armies for your honor." Vijaya added, "Devi, your prestige is being challenged. You cannot remain silent now." Parvati, torn between concern and pride, closed her eyes. "What is done," she said softly. "Let destiny unfold." Then she sent word to her son. "Stand firm. No Gana of Shiva can defeat you." With his mother's words in his heart, Ganesh straightened his turban, tightened his grip, and faced the next wave. "To your lord you are bound," he declared, "but to my mother I belong. You fight for Shiva, I fight for Parvati. Let us both do our duty." And with that, the battle resumed. The Ganas charged again. Nandi seized one leg, Bhringi the other. But Ganesha roared. With one swift motion, he broke free and struck them down. Arms snapped, knees shattered, skulls cracked like earthen pots. Thousands of Ganas scattered in fear, like deer before a lion. A boy undefeated, a son unstoppable. Kailash trembled. News of the chaos reached Narad, who rushed to summon Vishnu, Indra, and the gods. Even Shiv turned to Brahma and said, "There's a boy who defies me and defeats my Ganas. Only you can face him." Brahma, calm, curious, stepped forward. But as he neared the door, Ganesh grabbed his beard and mustache and flung him back. Even the creator had been humbled. A gasp spread through the heavens. Enraged, Shiv summoned all his forces. Indra, Vishnu, Kumar, goblins, spirits, celestial beasts. Attack! Roared Shiva. The skies rained with weapons. The earth cracked beneath their fury. But none touched Ganesh. He stood like a mountain, unmoving, unyielding, unafraid. With his iron club, he swept the field clean, sending gods and demons alike tumbling into dust. Parvati's rage flared, and from her fury emerged two terrifying Shaktis. One with a mouth like a bottomless void, another blazing, armed with countless hands. They devoured every arrow, swallowed every blade, and returned them powerless. Then came Kumar, Ganesha's elder brother. "Stand down," he warned. "I am the commander of divine armies. You cannot win." But Ganesh replied, "I serve no commander except my mother." They clashed, heaven shook, the cosmos echoed with their battle cries. Even mighty Kumar was forced to retreat. In desperation, Shiv turned to Vishnu, but the Shaktis merged their strength into Ganesh, making him invincible. He hurled his iron club at Vishnu's feet, and out of reverence, Vishnu dodged and vanished from the field. That's when Shiv himself stepped forward. No longer a father, no longer a lord. Now, just a furious warrior. He grasped his trident, Pashupat, and rushed. Ganesh met him head on. Their weapons clashed, mountains split. Time itself seemed to slow. With one mighty blow, Ganesh shattered Shiva's trident and even struck down 5 of his hands. Then, picking up the fallen weapon, he turned it against the gods themselves. No one could match him. And then, in a swirl of chaos, Shiv saw an opening. With one final strike, swift and sharp, he severed Ganesha's head. Silence. Not a sound, not a whisper. The boy was gone. The battlefield stood still. Even the wind forgot to blow. Even the gods forgot to breathe. And the world waited.